and a man who you wouldn't see coming in this respect, an American Idol finalist from a few years ago, Elliott Yamin, happens to be inside Chile, and he has been tweeting like crazy about this, and I believe he's with us on the phone. Elliott, you there?
I'm here, Josh. How are you?
Great. Listen, thanks for getting back in touch. I've been showing your tweets this morning, and I'm just going to tell our folks as we look at some video. You talked about this being the scariest night and morning of your life. Tell me what happened from the moment that this first struck. What did you feel? Where were you? What happened?
Well, I was. It was about 3:20 in the morning. I was on the 6th floor of our hotel in my room, at my desk. Coincidentally, go figure. I was actually tweeting at the time that the earthquake struck, and it was just obviously without warning. It was just a very abrupt kind of swaying back and forth, and then
swaying as in the building started swaying, the whole building.
Right, the building was swaying back and forth, as was my room. Things were starting to fall off of the wall. The lights were starting to flicker on and off, and then that swing very abruptly turned into just a very violent shake, and that's when I stood up and kind of headed towards my doorway, and opened my door, of course, and just so as to see if anybody else was doing the same, and if anybody else was out on the in the hallways, and I was kind of yelling out, "Earthquake, earthquake, get out! Get in the doorway!" And,
you were yelling that? You were yelling to people, "Earthquake, get out"?
I was yelling very frantically at the top of my lungs.
And as I understand, you're in Vina del Mar, right? Is that the area you've been in?
Right. We're in Vina del Mar, which is about 90 miles southwest of the epicenter, and also 90 miles outside of Santiago.
As we talk to you, I'm going to tell our viewers, we're looking at some of the various video we're getting from Chile. We don't obviously have Elliott's exact location. Video is coming in. You're seeing it as we talk. Elliott, I've been looking at your tweets all morning. I've also been looking at a lot of other tweets. So correct me if I'm wrong. I believe one of yours said that you felt at one point like you started running for your life.
I was. I mean, I just feel very lucky to have sought out safety. I just took the steps. There was one lone person who happened to be my neighbor next door to me, who was left on the floor at the time. And as I was yelling out, I saw him kind of peek around the corner, and then he started headed for the stairs. And amidst the building kind of rumbling, it was like a movie. It was like a Hollywood film. It's, we're running down the hall as we're being kind of strewn about the hallways. So we reached the staircase and ran down 6 flights of stairs to safety, and luckily got out unharmed, unscathed.
Well, help me understand. So you're running down the stairs. You get outside. Is everything still shaking at that point? Is the street shaking? Is the building still shaking?
Yeah. Because it was about. I think the whole thing lasted about 3 minutes. And since that time, there's been about 30 plus aftershocks. One being like 6.7. It was pretty big, but. The building was totally shaken by the time we had reached the outside. The way the hotel is situated, it's like kind of catty corner, right on the corner of a big intersection. So most people had made their way out front to the street. At which point there was no power. By the time I got downstairs, the lights were all off. It was 3:20 in the morning, so. As you can imagine, it's pretty pitch black dark and a pretty chaotic scene.
So what did you do? You got out. You ran out with this other person. Other people were clearing the hotel. You're on the street. Everything's still shaking. Where do you go? What'd you do? We just we all were just kind of seeking refuge on the street. Trying to get away as far away from the actual structure in the buildings itself. Wow. So what was it like on the streets?
It was very chaotic. This is a very late. First of all, we're only about a mile and a half inland from the beach, so we're very close to the water. This is a very late kind of town, and as one of your reporters stated earlier when I was on hold, that this is kind of technically the last week of summer, and we're here to play this big kind of summer ending festival. It's actually the biggest festival in all of South America. But anyways, so that being said,
so you're outside. It's summertime. People in general, some people are partying, whatever. All of a sudden,
people stay out. Right, people stay out very late. So there were a lot of cars on the street, a lot of people on the street walking around at the time, and It was very chaotic because people are running frantically, yelling out, crying. There are a few pregnant women at the hotel, and I'd say all in all, there's probably about 200 guests here at the hotel, all of whom were summoned to either the lobby or outside in front of the hotel.
Talk to me. So you go outside, and there's commotion outside. It's been a few hours now. Where did you go? What has happened in the time since the quake?
Things have relatively calmed down since then. We stayed outside for hours, just because it was just unsafe to be inside because of all the aftershocks and the magnitudes of the aftershocks. The power's still out. All the street lights were out, so the traffic was very chaotic.
Yeah.
With the exception of some broken glass in the streets, some broken windows, some down power lines that you see on the streets, and stray dogs and things like that. Nobody in this general area was hurt or.
Okay, no one that you could see so far in Viña del Mar, in the area where you are.